Sorry. Hello, 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 hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, let me grab my slides. Oh, wait a minute. Was I done with that? Oh, yeah, one more thing. There we go. Okay, let me try that again. Mm-mm-mm. Wow, this year's gone by very fast. But that's what they say. The older you get, the faster it seems to go. Let me see who was here first. Judy Matasset, thank you so much for being here first, and thank you for watching Royal Sussex. Okay. All right, I'm going to make myself disappear out the corner. And, okay, I'll just say hi to everybody as I go along. Right. So I put a video on not long ago. Um, I don't know, I was through with it. So I'm just like, I'll just put it up there. Um, but at least now you know what I was doing with my time. Okay. Hello, Beverly McCasco. Here goes. So, returning soon. That's right. I didn't want this to look like the other thumbnail. So, I pulled out my usual. I was like, what do I put in the background? Oh, yeah, the balcony. Um, oh, now that I think of it, that does look a little weird, doesn't it? Oh, well. Let's get on with it. So, as you know, Prince Harry is returning for the Well Child Awards. I was expecting that, but I was wondering because last year it was on the 7th of September. Now, Well Child, their love for Prince Harry is so profound. They did not want to lose Harry as a patron. Um, During the global pandemic, they actually moved a lot of pieces around to make it possible for Harry to attend. And of course, at the time, there was the whole thing with all of the precautions and lockdown and such. So they arranged to have it at Kew Garden, and Ed Sheeran was there, and it was outdoor, so there was no problem with people being in a confined space. That shows the commitment to making sure that Harry is not only their patron, but that they will, uh, shall we say, move heaven and earth just to make sure that Harry can be there. And that's what they did. And it was a beautiful thing. And yeah, I'm glad for that. And of course, Kew Garden. Um, that's part of the estate where Queen Charlotte lived, right? So it's kind of interesting that he would be there, um, as opposed to any other property. But well, anyway, we're glad he went. So, Elaine Parker, thank you so much for the super sticker, and thank you so much for being here. And as always, thank you for being a member of Royal Sussex. And check it out. We are delighted to announce that Well Child patron Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, will attend the 2024 Well Child Awards in association with GlaxoSmithKline. Um, on the 30th of September, the Duke will meet our inspirational winner at a pre ceremony reception before joining them in the main event. That's right. So you could always go to the Well Child website for more updates. How cool is that? And this, of course, is, you know what? Oddly enough, this is for last year, Prince Harry Returns, right? So I went through all that trouble making a new thumbnail. not realizing that this would have done just fine, but I didn't find it until later on. You know, I never delete anything, so I still had the one from last year. And this one, I would have to say for Well Child, this one is my favorite. I love that one. And also, Harry, Harry was, I'm telling you, Harry looked amazing last year for the Well Child. Absolutely amazing. I mean, he stepped out there like he had how does oh gosh, Maya Angelou, how does she say it? Like I have oil wells in my pocket, like I have diamond mines in my refrigerator or whatever it was she said. Yeah, he owned it. Absolutely. And he was looking good. He was feeling good. He was hairy. That's all you could say. Simply hairy. Huh? And he knew it too. Look at the way he's posing. Look at the way he's posing. Now, you cannot say that he wasn't the you know what, right? You couldn't tell him nothing. I don't know what suit he had on, but boy, did he look good. Now, of course, not to be outdone, realizing that Harry was coming, um, William was willing to make out with I don't know who this guy is. Prince William's a surreal run-in with Gaza. A pair shared a kiss at the oh yeah that Pret sandwich place. Yeah, I can't remember. Was this the guy that was selling the homeless papers or something like that? Anyway, I think this guy was he was part of some group, and I guess he said, if you're gonna invite me down here, if you're gonna use me for a photo op, if you're gonna give me some shirt from the Mr. Furley collection, then at the very least you're gonna have to make out with me. Yeah, somehow they he has one of Don Knotts shirts from the Three's Company show. I don't know what that shirt is doing in the United Kingdom, but I guess they had to use something for William so he as a signal so that he would know who to make out with. And anyway, I guess he figured it out. I guess he figured it out. Yeah. So they probably told William, whenever you see the guy in the Mr. Furley shirt, that's the one you have to make out with. So kiss, kiss. Now, what's working? Let me see. Well, the Clinton Global Initiative 2024 meeting. What's working? Starting September 23rd, the people that you see there, which include Jill Biden. Oh gosh, can I see that? That's kind of small. Let me see what I can do about that. Edgar Remkevics, president of the Republic of Latvia, and the model Iman, Kathy Hochul, governor of New York, and the let's see, Fifi Lee, um, student. I'm sorry, Stanford University, and of course Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, Stephanie Rule Hubbard. Stephanie Rule. That's the news lady from MSNBC. And lastly, Andy Bashir, governor of Kentucky. Okay, so um, interesting. I'm guessing he's a Republican. I don't know, but I'm so glad they asked Harry to be a part of it. No wonder William decided it was better to stay home. Ah, no wonder William thought, I think I'll just stay home. Uh, Spirit of Enterprise, King launches side hustle at Sandringham after success of Burger Bar. Earlier this year, Charles served up a new range of burgers at a 20,000 acre estate posh restaurant, while another pop up stall sold homemade ice cream. Well, I tell you what, for someone who is above trade and retail and such, um, it looks like His Majesty the King is really raking in the dough, right? Let me see. Wow, you guys, I kind of think this is going to go fast today. Let's keep up this rhythm, right? Let's keep up this rhythm. Exclusive. Prince William has no interest in restoring contact with Prince Harry, whose birthday message was sent to align with King Charles. Well, they're still running that story. I don't know why they think that this type of rhetoric is helpful to the monarchy. It seems as though they are so blind with hostility and this need to win at whatever cost. There is nothing to win. Everybody loses. Um, I'm going to say one more time. Keep saying this. I am so grateful for Spare, the Oprah interview. And remember, they said that Oprah has disassociated herself with the Sussexes, right? Um, which is very short sighted because let's face it, Oprah has had her experience with the tabloid media. And I don't think that the type of pressure that they're capable of is something that she's afraid of. Oprah has been around this type of aggressive journalism for a long time, and so I don't know if there's much else that they can do that they haven't done already. I mean, she has been accused of terrible things, and they were selling so many magazines and newspapers with her image. That's the reason why she started O Magazine, is because to show you how brilliant she is. She's like, if they're going to make money off of my image, how about if I make some money off of my image? So this, of course, was the event where Oprah and the Sussexes and such, um, like I said, they're not the best quality photos. I'm going to leave it at this and not share all the other ones because they are super creepy. And it's also very disturbing to see nighttime photos from the paparazzi because we know that the flash can be, you know, blinding to whoever's driving the vehicle. So we don't even need to go there. We already know how dangerous that is. But um, whatever the case may be, fortunately, everyone got home safe. And it just, it just goes to show that this narrative that they keep pushing from Narnia about how isolated and lonely they are. And I mean, up until what, probably 10 minutes ago, they have still been pushing this. Nobody talks to the Sussexes. Why has Hollywood turned their back on them? And yet they're in the thick of it. They are in the thick of it. Um, I hate to disappoint the haters. I'm just kidding. I love it. This is not the Duke and Duchess of Windsor. This is a whole nother era. And uh, Harry was not destined for the throne. His brother is. So Harry didn't sit by just getting by making other people uncomfortable. He worked. And of course, Meghan has been working since she was a teenager and just as much the activist as you could imagine. So it's a whole nother era. Wallace Simpson wasn't interested in being anybody's activist. They're different people in different eras, and there's no connection whatsoever except for the family surname. Oh, stop the music! Stop the music! Wait, a jam on the brakes. Did you all hear that the laziest, well, actually, the other member of the laziest duo that has ever drawn a breath is returning to work? Yes, yes, Queen. Yes, give her a hand. She is going to return to work. I cannot believe it. She is actually going to do something other than I don't know, ordering the help around. Now, she has made a big announcement about having completed her chemo and everything. And I have been very critical, and I'm not going to pretend otherwise because having experienced that illness in my family and so many others, it has been puzzling that it has taken so long for um, this to happen. Really puzzling. And for someone who has a history of being, well, lazy, I'm surprised that it took so long. So I'm not going to subscribe to this free pass for all. If you had enough energy to go out and film some epic shampoo commercial, feminine hygiene product commercial slash um, I guess pharmaceutical commercial where you're walking through the forest, rolling on the ground, then you probably could have worked. And what better and more honorable thing that one could do but to actually work with other people who have likewise suffered as you reportedly have. And it makes me very suspicious that someone who reportedly has gone through this seems to not want to use their platform and make contact or help or encourage other people who have suffered or who have gone through treatment. It's so many questions and so few answers. And I think because the press has finally caught on to it or has finally gotten enough courage, they have built up enough steam to ask certain questions. Now, all of a sudden, we can't get back to work fast enough. Uh, oh, really? Really? Is that so? Okay. Well, very good. Thank you so much for the. Wait, where's my bell? Super chat. Now, I wish I could say the same, but I'm so afraid. I'm so afraid to get committed to anything. I have not watched several of the series that I need to watch. And it's just that I have so much other stuff I need to do. And I'm working on stuff. So I applaud you for, you know, digging into it. And hopefully one of these days I can myself, but I mean, we all should if we haven't yet. But yeah. Oh, anyway, that is super cool. So, you TV Guide Surprise Suits series episode 1 is now on a local broadcast TV. Check local listings rather. Okay, well, thank you for sharing that good news. All right. And speaking of good news, did I tell you guys that Kate's going back to work? Anyway, they say the Princess of Wales hosts her first official work meeting in 9 months. In 9 months. Just days after revealing in an intimate video she had finished chemotherapy. Wow. I, you know, I think of some of the things. Well, let me stop. You can't make a comparison. Everybody is different. The fact that Kate appeared at the Wimbledon looking plump, healthy, and tan should not encourage people to doubt. Graham Smith says those meeting and engagements don't involve any substance. There is no evidence of any work being done by Kate. It's all for show. And the same is true for the other royals. Thank you, Graham Smith. Now, up there it says, however, she also warned that it will be a slow. You didn't really need to warn us. We got your number. It's going to be a slow return to full public duties, as doing what I can to stay cancer free is now my focus. Interesting that the children weren't thrown in there this time, and admitted that it's been very scary and unpredictable time for her family. Okay, well, there's the children. Although future public engagements have yet to be announced, she does hope to attend Remembrance Sunday at the Cenotaph. She will not accompany her husband to the Earthshot Prize in Cape Town, South Africa in November. Really? Okay. Also, in the court circular is a private visit of William undertook in a, was it 22 Special Air Service Regiment? No further. Oh, who cares about that? And then Jeannie Bond says, also noted, this doesn't mean that she intends to be only part time forever. Oh, that's not what that means. That's not what it means. It's implied. Trust me, it's implied. Because these days there are other ways to be visible, video messages and social media posts. Isn't that what Williams said? That he's not going to go out and do stuff anymore, that he's going to do high impact and very little. Well, anyway, let me see. Let me see. And video messages, social media posts are all ways she could be. God, that's small. You know what? I'm looking at the wrong screen. Let me get over here on my big screen. That's why I'm struggling. I'm trying to look at that one. Let me see. Ha! There we go. Nice and big. Okay. Video messages and social media posts are all ways she could still be in touch and give her support to her causes while still being there. Uh oh, here goes. Are you ready for it? For her children. In 12 or so years, when Catherine's full recovery hopefully will hopefully be well established, the children will probably all be off into further education, and then she's letting you know right now, in 12 years, then she can concentrate more on her work. But until she feels comfortable taking on more, we must be patient. Who they talking to? What did they take us for, a little nail from the country? Did we just fall off a turnip truck? This was already baked into it. There was no way. I told you all, this girl is not. going to work. I think she has, let's see, the Remembrance Day, um, that Christmas thing, and then of course she is going to do her impersonation of Miss Jane Pittman and walk on Christmas morning, and then you ain't gonna see her until Commonwealth Day. I repeat, you won't see her again until the Commonwealth Day. There is nothing, this is not news. I told y'all that this is what was going to happen. So the only thing that is the update is that in 12 years, then she will consider coming back to work full time. And if Jeannie Bond says that that's what it is, then that's what it is. Well played, Catherine. Well played. Everything is going her way. This is everything that she's always wanted. Do you know that the first time I ever flew on a plane was because one of my relatives, the one who used to take all the kids and grandkids places, um, had actually gone through cancer, had the lymph node, the lymphoma or whatever. No, not lymphoma. Well, anyway, you know how your arm swells up. She had to wear the sleeve. She had mastectomy and all that kind of stuff. And I tell you, that lady suffered. Did I go to Disney World with her? Yes. Did I go to Disneyland? Yes. Did we cross the border and go over to Mexico? Yes. We went all kind of places. It's incredible that cancer back then, she had more energy than someone much younger with the best exceptional medical care. And this is why it's so triggering to hear the privilege of her position. You already know that you're not going to fill up to it for 12 years. For 12 years in advance. And the usual excuse, well, I'm going to put my children first. That's not part of the contract. That's not a thing. You're a royal, a senior royal. There are no putting children first. You put the nanny first and then the children. This is all an excuse. And William, I'm going to just say, is just as guilty as she is. She's only following his lead. He's only following his lead, or she's only following his lead. It is insulting. It is an insult to real people who have to navigate the NHS or any other public health service. How do they get stuff done? I've worked with people going through chemotherapy. Amazing. Jeannie Rock Bailey, thank you so much for the super sticker, and thank you so much for being a member of Royal Sussex. And thank you for being a witness to the ultimate privilege, because we have witnessed privilege like none other. We have literally witnessed privilege like none other. I tell you, being the English Rose is like having lottery tickets falling out your pocket, ain't it? Even the worst of situations, you're still much better off than the average person. It's incredible that people put up with it and make excuses for it. Yeah, they're paying huge money for nothing. When you think, and this really makes you appreciate the Queen and Philip in that they did not lean into illness. They just kept working. They just kept working. Philip could have easily set out Harry and Meghan's wedding. He had been in and out the hospital. The Queen, even when Philip was in the hospital, when the Queen had engagements, she had engagements. And when Philip was home, he was home. The minute they said Kate was ill, William said, "Up, I'm not working." He called off from work immediately. Real people don't do that. And let me show you something. Let me just show you something, and then I'm gonna go to well, I'm gonna finish off this topic, but I just want to show you one thing, one huge difference between what Will and Kate get away with. Uh, Let me see here. Okay. And it's not to say, let me see here. Look at this. Can can you say can you say this about Will and Kate? She's been an example to us all and carries on working. And I do believe, for what it's worth, she sat there with her little red box and did her duty. Now, you could say, well, that's not real work. But at 95 years old, she would have every excuse under the sun to do nothing. I hope that they don't get confused or get stupid and put a big headline like that up with Kate Middleton's picture next to it. They shouldn't. They just really shouldn't. I think that would be going too far. Wow. Wow. I'm just I'm overwhelmed. I'm overwhelmed. The level of privilege. And we all know that if the shoe was on another foot, it would have been a totally different thing. Yeah, and the fact that you don't want to meet with other patients, with other people that have suffered, that is very suspicious. Almost as though you can't look them in the eye. That's what it gives me, is that you know that you're everything is not what it appears to be. And I really believe that it's not. See what I mean? This is this is real people's experience. They won't even identify what Charles or Kate is suffering from, but at least Charles sat face to face with cancer patients. One of the reporters has gone on the record saying that it looks very strange that Kate would make this flashy video, but you're not volunteering or spending any of your time with cancer patients. That is not only odd, it's very suspicious. I told you guys I was not going to shy away from the topic. I feel like it needs to be pointed out. It needs to be pointed out. Thank you so much for sharing that, Jules. It really does need to be pointed out, called out. Princess of Wales hosts her first official work meeting in 9 months, just days after revealing in an intimate video she had finished chemotherapy. They said that, and listen, they never really said she had cancer. They said after the surgery, it was discovered that cancer had been present. It didn't say that she had cancer. All of this confusing language that they use said that she was receiving something that some doctors say do not exist, and that's preventative cancer treatment. It is also vague and ambiguous. I'm struggling to understand exactly what they're treating and why. Graham Smith says there's something fundamentally dishonest about a lot of royal reporting. The palace puts this line out, and journalists repeat it uncritically. The reality is, Kate has never worked as a royal. A few meetings and engagements that adds up to 3 weeks of full time a year, full time work a year. The Princess of Wales returns to work just days after completing chemotherapy treatment. And Graham Smith said the quiet part out loud. What work? What work? That is not work. What they do is not work. You know, when it's important to the narrative, they will say that she was seen out here, that she was doing that there, that she was spotted with the children. They were picking apples, carving pumpkins, such and such and such and such. But your job that the public is paying you for is not rolling out of bed when you choose to. There is work to be done. They have gone on and on about the fact that what is it, the slim down monarchy is too small, and that there is work to be done. And not only does she not show up, William doesn't show up. You would think that William would say, okay, I am going to tuck in and do a little more work than I've had in the past. Nothing could be further from the truth. He's doing less work. And to distract from the laziness, what do? They start a campaign of hate against Meghan, because that's that whole thing about calling Meghan a tyrant or a dictator is so that they can take the heat off of the other two. And that is why I get very triggered by all of this, is because in order to build her up, someone who doesn't deserve the amount of attention that she gets, in order to build her up, they have to tear Meghan down. They have to attack Meghan. They have to feed these talking points into the media so that they will be picked up on social media. It's not fair. It is really not fair. Now, buckle your seatbelt. This is a good one. You see this? Take a look on the left side. Princess Catherine resumes official royal duty after chemotherapy, campaigning a champion, and that is children's causes with early years meeting at Windsor Castle. So why is Meghan's photo being used? Now, I suppose that this photo is supposed to be Meghan um, confronting the messenger. What? What do you mean she's coming back? You know, That is what this photo is supposed to convey, is that Meghan is suddenly disappointed that Catherine, as if it's at all possible, is going to draw all the attention away from me. So I guess that's why the arms are folded, and I'm just guessing that's what the message is supposed to be here. The Princess of Wales returning to her official royal duty after completing chemotherapy, focusing on a cause she holds dear to her heart. Come back to royal. The 42-year-old took time off, announcing in March that she had been diagnosed with an undisclosed form of cancer. On September 9th, the Wells family shared a heartfelt update. Oh, God. Anyway, why are we using Megan's photo? It's not the first time that's happened. If you take a look here on the right side, a royal butterfly, Duchess of Sussex, captures Charlotte's wonder as she cradles fragile insect. And don't even get me started about the police report of Megan going to the Sarah Everhart memorial, makeshift memorial. They put Megan's name on the police report, even though it was actually Catherine that broke the law. I repeat, it was Catherine that broke the law. Officially, there was not supposed to be anyone there because it violated the amount of people in a confined space or whatever during the pandemic, right? So they arrested women that day, not Kate, of course. And then later on, the chief of police tried to say that Catherine was there as part of her official royal duty. And let me remind you also that Catherine was one of the few adults who was not wearing a face mask. So you could make sure that her face was visible. So PR stunt this PR stunt could be recorded and put on social media. It was all so contrived. And so we're all supposed to celebrate Catherine's return to official royal duty, but don't expect her to work full time until every child has completed university, or however, whatever happens in 12 years. I told you guys, this is everything that she's ever wanted. And far be it from Will and Kate to miss the opportunity to use real life events, if they are real, as an excuse to not work. Hi, Cecilia. It is the okey doke. It is the bait and switch. I've known carny hustlers that are not as clever as this. So that means she's going to sit at the table, like she's at the Last Supper, right? And she is going to look on attentively as though she actually knows what the hell is going on. And they're going to write these glowing articles about something that she has no clue. She needs only show up with her binder, right? And look interested. There will be no public speeches. We already know that. Mediocrity on full display and celebrated as though it's something exceptional. And then, of course, they are going to run articles about Megan, putting her down, accusing her of the worst, so that they could somehow elevate Kate. And Will and Kate, well, let me just say this. Kate knows that she benefits from this from these attacks from the tabloid media. The question is, how instrumental is Kensington Palace, ergo Will and Kate, to these attacks, the leaking and briefing? One only has to consider who benefits the most. Interesting. Very interesting. Let me see. Where's my Last Supper photo? That's what I'm looking for. My Last Supper photo. Aha. Here it is. Here it is. Uh huh. Okay. You ready for it? There we go. Grin like a hyena. Check. Binder. Check. Touch a black person. Check. And of course, the Last Supper pose. Check. And finally, uh, her breadth and knowledge of understanding. Her breadth of knowledge and understanding are unremarkable. Check. That's it. This is what they're going to do when she returns to work. This is it. Don't expect anything else. So I would say for any well wishers that might be watching, you need not bother, because this is what they're going to have on that day. Yep. And of course, um, we're listening to starboard. You know, she always does that where that head goes leaning over to the side. She's listening to starboard. See how it looks like a mirror image of the Last Supper. You know who else does this? Donald Trump. This is one of those things that Donald Trump does a lot, where he will sit at a table. He will have them set up a table so that he can look very important, so that he can look like he's the center of the universe. And don't it remind you of this? Wait, where is it? Oh, hold on. This. See there? There's William. They don't know what's going on, either one of them. They are clueless. They are clueless. There's no point to William being there. And he was hoping to have Mayor Eric Adams join the farce, but the mayor had too much sense to show up. I don't know what it's like for the people that play along with this. What's it like for the people that play along with it? And of course, they had to put the black girl next to her. Got to put that black girl here. Why don't you sit here, love? Here, love. Why don't you sit here? You got like they did that woman that they put next to Camilla that time.
Part of the lunch club. Yeah.
Yes.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for coming.
There you are. So you're the only man here.
Yeah, I am.
Yes. Great family. So how long so how
Now she cussing somebody out. Somebody is gonna get cussed out, and she ain't get a chance to do her hair either. And then, of course, if you don't really know Camilla that well, what prepares you to be that close to her? How do you prepare to be that close to the queen consort? It can't be easy. It cannot be easy. Here, why don't you sit here, love? Yeah, love.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for coming.
There you are. So you're the only man here.
Yeah, I am.
Yes.
Lights, camera, action.
So how long so how
Lights, camera, action. Not exactly what she was expecting when she left the house that day. Oh, well, I mean, there's all those other people, but just so happens the black girl gets sat right next to Kate. Couldn't make up something like that, could you? Oh well. If they have to bus them in, they'll be there. And all of these, well, you've seen this before. All of a sudden, William and Kate are the hardest working people ever. But prior to Megan, years and years, even up to 2016, 2017, years of calling them out for their laziness. And now all of a sudden, they're so disappointed that they can't get to work because, well, those kids, the staff of 52 people, including a team of nannies, a cook, groundskeeper, what else? Housekeeper, drivers. You got all of that, but you cannot work. You will not work. You refuse to work. The unbearable Middleton. All we know about Kate Middleton revolves around clothes, nightclubs, weddings, toughish country pursuits, and expensive holidays. Is there is there wait a minute, is that anything behind the expectant smile other than an empty life? That's how they used to write about Kate until they had Megan to pick on. Kate Middleton's lazy ways rubbing off on Prince William. Oh, I don't know about that. He was lazy too. Kate Middleton called lazy by Queen. They leaked that in the press to try to shame her into going to work. And what happened? She went to Jigsaw. They found some kind of position for her at some clothing store or something like that. It was just a little vanity thing. It was just something to keep the press away from writing stories like you see on the left side. I'm telling you, this internet is something else because there's receipts all over the place. Receipt after receipt after receipt. 2019, still calling her lazy. Kate Middleton is disliked for being lazy. The Duchess of Cambridge is one of the most popular members of the British family, but lazy. Is the Duchess of Cambridge lazy, Katie? And is she feuding with whoever it said? Are the rumors of Kate Middleton ducking her royal responsibilities true? Yes. Yes. And she gets away with it. And now she has the ultimate reason to do nothing because you're not allowed to question it. I will, but you're not allowed to question it. And even though people twice her age manages to do their duty, don't expect that from her because at that point, that's when you throw in the kids. It doesn't matter that there's a whole staff at their house. What, 52, 62 people? Don't think about that. Sometimes she was so lazy she couldn't even put her drawers on. She was too lazy to put her drawers on. She just walk out the door. You would think all of that. You would think all of that air gushing under your clothes, blowing up your nether parts. You would think that that would be enough to say, you know what? I know I'm a bit lazy, but I'm going to take some time and put some drawers on. Not her. She just walk on out. Now you know you lazy when you ain't got time for drawers. That's lazy. I can't say I was a regular attendant of libraries. Prince William confesses he was lazy at university. That's what they had in common. That's what they had in common. Both of them were so lazy that, like magnets or whatever, they were just drawn to each other. How about this one? The Duke and Duchess paid a visit to Taj Mahal in India like Princess Diana, but in the main, it's been boring, and that's because they're boring. They couldn't cobble together a personality between them. We all know he really doesn't want to be there, but is under instructions from the palace to pull his finger out and look interested at to dispel the rumors that he's a lazy tyke. You guys, and listen, hate listeners, hate watchers, the people that you're rooting for, they're boring, they're lazy, they're phony as I don't know what. And all y'all could be obsessed with is how Meghan and Harry are cashing in on their titles. So what? It's their titles. And if you ask someone in the US, what is a duke? They couldn't tell you. They don't know anything about that stuff. So I don't know how you cash in, but you cannot unpopular someone, especially if the tabloid media writes up to 50 articles about you in one day. And I'm talking about one paper. If a newspaper writes 50 articles about someone, if you wasn't famous, you will be. Over the past 8 weeks, Britain has been firing bullets at Prince William, accusing of being lazy, bone idle, and work shy. Hopefully, after today's publicity stunt, shoot more out of our population will appreciate how hard the prince actually works. Who wrote that? Oh God. Anyway, that's pretty bad. Okay. And and that sounds about right. I mean, they're not they're not relevant, and they don't earn anything. You know, earlier today there was a conversation on the Twitter, and they were talking about um gosh, who were they talking about? Um I think it was about was it about Kate? No, it was about William. And they were saying that Harry is invited into spaces that William is not invited into, is not um, asked to participate because they don't see William as a serious player. You guys, I didn't really think about it until today, but William has a lot of free time. And you would imagine that there are invitations from here, there, and everywhere asking William to participate, especially in when it comes to the environment. But nobody sees him as a serious player, so they don't ask his presence anywhere. Nobody wants him. Nobody even wanted to marry him. The Middleton family just really wore him down, but nobody else wanted to be a part of what he had to offer. And could you wonder why? So, aside from all of that, they were saying that William could not go into certain spaces. People won't look at him as a serious person because of his lack of work ethic. And they compared him to, do you guys remember when Trump's daughter went to that global meeting of some sort? And what's her name? That finance lady, Christian Lagarde, or whatever her name is, and a couple of other people. I think it was oh gosh, Angela Merkel. All of these very powerful women, and then um, Ivana, Milani. What's her name? The Ivanka, whatever the daughter's name is. She comes and stands near them as if there's something that she could relate to, and they just froze and they looked at her. They just froze and looked at her. Like, seriously? Because there was nothing she had to relate. You're the president's daughter. You're not a real, um, what should I say? You're not actually a diplomat. You don't belong to any official agency. You're only here because of your father. And she had not been sworn into any position, but she was just part of the Trump grift. And they just froze and they looked at her in shock that she thought it was okay for her to tip up to them with that nonsense. So that's how they treat William. And that's why when William went to the United Nations and he was trying to be this global whatever statesman, nobody took him serious. And that's why he was at the ambassador's residence, seated next to an empty chair. Those people are there to amuse him, not that he has anything to offer. I meant to drag those two today, and drag I did because they're lazy, They're inconsequential. The fate of humanity doesn't change in the least bit whether they show up or whether they stay home. Nothing changes. There's some photos. They do their busy work where they just sit there and look busy and look knowledgeable, and but it's much to do about nothing. There's no speech. There's no situation where somebody will say that they've ever done anything exceptional. And yet, that one reporter had the nerves to say that mere mortals may have stayed home, but not Kate Middleton. No, Kate went to the Troop in the Colors, unlike other mere mortals. That didn't go down well, did it? Didn't age well at all. They're pathetic, both of them, and they deserve each other. But I tell you what, whenever Charles slips away into the abyss, I bet she gonna sit up then. It'll be just like an energizer bunny. She'll find energy that nobody knew she had. Oh yeah. She'll be just like those kids in that shampoo commercial, jumping over logs, whacking plants with sticks and stuff like that. She'll have energy that they didn't know she had. Trust and believe. Well, here's some good news. Um, Today was voter registration day. So make sure that you register to vote. And as you can see, Archwell, oh, wait a minute, something is missing. Oh boy. In honor of National Voter Registration Day, Archwell Foundation team came together for a meaningful volunteer activity to support and empower our communities. Using Vote Forward's impactful letter writing tool, our team wrote personalized letters encouraging unregistered voters to take a crucial step registering to vote. Voting is not just a right, it's a fundamental way to influence the fate of our communities. At the Archwell Foundation, we recognize the civic engagement, no matter one's political party, is at the heart of a more just and equitable world. By participating in initiatives like this, we aim to amplify the message that every voice matters. We invite you to join us in this important effort to volunteer your time and write letters to potential voters. Sign up at Vote Forward website. That's Vote Forward's website. For those who wish to take immediate action, you can register to vote today by visiting vote.gov, right? Visit vote.gov. When it's gov, you know that that's a not for profit. So you can visit vote.gov. Together, we can make sure every eligible voter that is informed and empowered to participate in shaping America's future. So there you go. And listen, the greater the turnout, the greater possibility that the first woman to ever be president of the United States will be elected in November. The more people that get out and vote, even if those other people come out and vote, it won't matter. Kamala Harris will be president elect Kamala Harris. So participate. Let's see. If you're in a red state, please verify your voter registration. Yes, thank you, Denise Marcus. You know, in the red states, they want to purge you from the voter rolls. They will look at your zip code and assume that you are of a certain ethnicity or race, and they will use that as a way to purge you from the election rolls. Do not give them the satisfaction of it. Make sure that you have everything in order. Do not fall for those ads and messages and public service announcements that are designed to discourage or make you afraid to vote. That only benefits the enemy. So, thank you very much, Denise Marcus. Very, very important. Okay, so that was out of order. So I got to go back here. Every now and then, I catch a glimpse of a dumpster fire in my rearview mirror. And phew, are they okay over there? Miss Scobie is being very shady. Are they okay over there? Well, Omid, let me see. Here's a better one for you. Do they look okay? Do they look okay? Because if they don't look okay, they probably ain't okay. So I don't know. Do you think they're okay? I don't think so. Oh, yeah. So this is the other part of that national. For some reason, I thought that was Doria, but I don't believe it is. Um, but yeah, National Voter Registration Day. Okay, got a soundbite for you. Jeannie Bond has been at it again. I don't know exactly why she seems to be so helpful these days, but you know what they say? You know what they say? Never look a gift horse in the mouth. So I don't want to look a gift horse in the mouth.
And that could have been the case again, but it is the public who find her a divisive figure. And why did they do that? Well, for a number of reasons. One of which is us. It's the media, because we divide opinion, we take sides, particularly the tabloids. Of course, you have to remember Harry is suing the Mirror Group, the Mail Group, and the Sun as well, I believe. So they're not going to be very well disposed towards either Harry or Meghan. But it is us, the media, and I think we should actually accept that, okay? And that could have been the case again, but it is the public who find her a divisive figure. And why did they do that? Well, for a number of reasons. One of which is us. It's the media, because we divide opinion, we take sides, particularly the tabloids. Of course, you have to remember Harry is suing the Mirror Group, the Mail Group, and the Sun as well, I believe. So they're not going to be very well disposed towards either Harry or Meghan. But it is us, the media, and I think we should actually accept that, okay?
Okay, you got me convinced. So Jeannie Bond, once again, has gone against convention and said something decent. Yeah. Oh, Sheila Dewey, thank you for being here. But yeah, so you want a warning? Okay. But I have to warn you that the warning is just as scary as the actual photo. But let me see. This is the only thing I got. So brace yourself. Here it comes. You ready? Here it comes. How's that? Ah. Yeah, so that's the only thing I can think of. Other than that, she just kind of sneaks up on you, doesn't she? Like a den of rattlesnakes, just kind of sneaks up on you. So Glow says, wait, so you thought it was just last week that Jeannie Bond admitted that the British press were profusely mean to Duchess Meghan in the style of a smear campaign? She did say this last year before the coronation when we found out Meghan would be washing her hair that day in Montecito. And of course, we all know that in Montecito, where is it? In Montecito, there are no leaks, but they do wash their hair on coronation day. So, therefore, was unfortunately unable to make it to see the king, who probably wants to what she just said there. So, and by the way, thank you, Glow, for sharing this. But Jeannie Bond has made this point several times. She said that during the Back Off Kate campaign, when everybody was asking where Kate Middleton is, everybody was laughing at Kate Middleton, laughing at the royal family. Jeannie Bond said at the time that you can't keep attacking Meghan and in the same breath telling people to back off Kate. Now, I don't know why suddenly she's been so helpful, but like I said, I don't want to look a gift horse in the mouth. So Jason Knopf still works as chief executive of the Royal Foundation charity of Prince William and Kate Middleton, who is seen here laughing as she offers him a tub of dead larvae at the COP26 event in Glasgow on November the 1st, 2021. The former press secretary exposed Meghan and Harry's private messages through the Court of Appeal. So let me just say that one of the reasons why I say and do some of the things that I do is because of images like that. It's because of images like that and the image on the right as well. These people unleashed some of the worst possible evil, some of the worst possible evil upon Harry and Meghan. And trust and believe, they sit around and laugh about it. It's very funny to them. William is literally laughing with Jason right there as he pins the Victorian something on him. And why did he get that? Because of all of the stuff that he helped to orchestrate against Meghan. And what's worse is that Jason is an American. Born in Texas, he was an American who somehow found himself in New Zealand attending university, where he may or may not have actually been in the company of, guess who? Dan Wooten, right? Now, there's no proof or evidence that those two had ever met while at university, but it's just mighty interesting that this kid from Texas finds himself in New Zealand and then somehow ends up in the thick of British politics. You could not make that up. And who better to try to destroy an American princess than Jason Knopf? I don't say the stuff that I say about these people because I hate them. I don't hate them at all. But I do take pleasure in dragging them. That I do. I feel like they deserve it because they have done some terrible, terrible things. I'm sure it doesn't make much of an impact, but as far as I'm concerned, if it gives a headache to some of their best and greatest supporters, then my work is done. So, this alleged, I don't know that this is an accurate document, but this is said to be the infamous 5 a.m. email. I repeat, this is supposed to be the 5 a.m. email from Meghan. It's dated the 12th of November, 2018. So that would be months after they were married. To Jason Knopf, and you see Harry, subject today. Morning, Jason. I hope all is well. I meant to reach out this weekend to set a time to speak this week, but woke up to some sobering texts from my mom saying she feels unsafe. With that said, I feel a greater sense of urgency to sit down with you. Now, this is from Meghan, 5 a.m. for Meghan. Would you have some time to talk this afternoon? Would love to debrief a few things, discuss such and such and such and such, redacted, but most importantly, figure out some sort of action plan to ensure my mom's safety from these egregious paps. My afternoon is free from 12 p.m. onward. Let me know if there's a time that could work for you. Thanks. Thank you, M. So this is the terrifying, jarring, earth-shaking 5 a.m. email. You see there? It says 0614. This is that terrifying 5 a.m. email. From a woman who probably weighs 110 pounds. If you're the type of grown man that is terrorized by Meghan, not much of a man, are you? So whether or not this is the actual email, I don't know. I don't even know that this is a real email. So I'm going to say it's an alleged early AM email. Okay, and then there's this. You may have heard it before, maybe, maybe not. You're going to hear it again. Just to set it up for you, this is the occasion where Dickie Arbiter and this other guy makes it very clear that the only way that there would have been help for the Daily Mail in their case against, or Meghan's case against them for a breach of copyright. And just to explain things, it's not the same everywhere, but in the UK, if you write a letter and you mail that letter to someone, even though that letter is to them and in their possession, they do not have a right to share that letter with the public. Because just like you wrote a musical or you wrote a play or you wrote anything, the copyright for that letter, that personal letter from you, belongs to you. And so using the courts in the United Kingdom, Meghan brought a lawsuit against the Daily Mail for copyright infringement. Now, Jason Knopf, who supposedly, he was supposed to be working for Harry and Meghan, right? He was supposed to be their personal assistant, secretary, communications director, right? Working for Harry and Meghan. But this person working for the Sussexes, who they, of course, did not hire, actually went to the attorneys for the Daily Mail and told them, listen, I helped her write that letter. It was my suggestion, and I helped her word the letter properly. Now, if this email is to be believed, um, if this is an email from Megan, you can tell from the grammar and the use of the English language that the person who wrote this is not a dum dum. In other words, this person does not need the help of Jason Knopf to write a letter to her father or anybody else for that matter, as Megan is known to be quite the wordsmith herself. She doesn't need someone's help to write a letter to her father. That doesn't even sound logical, does it? But yet, that is the lie that they told. So, um, fast forward to Jason sitting with the attorneys or legal representation or whatever for the Daily Mail. This man that works for Harry and Meghan, who should have some sort of a NDA, was somehow given the permission to help the enemy. Now, having said that, what I'm about to play is going to make sense to you.
And unless, I mean, the most likely outcome is that Jason obviously would have then gone to William and Kate, and clearly he has cooperated. He would not have cooperated with those lawyers without their definite knowledge.
Do you, in your opinion, do you think that Kate and William had approved his decision to do this?
I would put my all my money on it.
The process would have been, as we know, is that the Mail on Sunday had the ruling against them in February, and they were then appealing it. So it was lawyers from the Mail on Sunday who would have approached Jason Naff, knowing that these emails and messages existed. That would have been the point. And unless, I mean, the most likely outcome is that Jason obviously would have then gone to William and Kate, and clearly he has cooperated. He would not have cooperated with those lawyers without their definite knowledge.
So you understand? Unless William and Kate had given him permission, there's no way that Jason would have gone to the Daily Mail and said, listen, I can help you win this case against my employer, right? I'm so loyal to them, I'm going to help you. One of the squaddies, Queens Are Made, said, if you doubt Prince William was not involved in this shenanigans, known that staff like Knopf sign ironclad NDAs and can't do anything like this without Prince William's approval. So William sent Knopf to help Daily Mail against pregnant Meghan. She lost her baby. There's no other way to put it. The stress, the disloyalty, all of that took a toll. And so, to add insult to injury, the tabloid media, every 3 months, every 2 months, might even be once a month, they try to find some kind of way to say that Harry and Meghan cannot keep staff. Harry and Meghan make bad decisions. Harry and Meghan are not very popular. But yet, Harry and Meghan fled for their lives from the United Kingdom after they nearly lost their first child to some mysterious event in South Africa. After Harry was threatened if he didn't drop his allegations against Christian Jones, right? They ran for their lives, literally. We all know that Diana's demise is not easily explained, so they ran. They go to Canada for 6 weeks, everything's quiet. And then all of a sudden, they just called away their security. So then they go to the US with the help of Tyler Perry. And for another 6 weeks, everything's all quiet. And then once again, somebody gave away their location. But my point is, during all of this and a global pandemic, right? And along with the global pandemic, they went house hunting. They secured contracts so that they could financially take care of themselves and pay for their own security. They started a not-for-profit foundation. They also started a production company. And they done other things. Meghan made some investments. Harry made some investments. They put together a financial portfolio. They hired a lot of people. They furnished their home. They did a lot of things. And dare I say, I don't know how many people could have achieved so much, even with their name recognition. I don't know how that many people who would have been able to achieve so much in such a short period of time. And so they have managed to do in just a couple years what really should have taken about 10 years. But they've done it. Hard work. And also, let's not forget at a certain point, they were on maternity leave. But the press doesn't cut them any slack, because the least anything that looks like is room for gossip, they write the most salacious stories about it as though they just don't know what they're doing. But they got the mother of all bargains. I mean, what did they pay even half price for that house? I think their house was listed for 40 million, then it was 29 million. So they got it for a song and a dance. They paid half of that because God was on their side. Everything went their way. And they continue to receive their blessings. Can't say that for the rest of the family, but they continue to give their blessings. And so it doesn't matter all of the negative, nasty things that they say in the long run. It doesn't matter. Short term, yes, frustrating. But long term, they have made quite a success of it. And I could assure you that those two lazy, mediocre individuals that I drag every day would never, ever be able to do anything like that. They just couldn't. They'd be like one of those robotic carpet sweepers just bouncing off a wall because the battery is getting low. They couldn't do something like that. They're too weak, too ignorant. They lack the intelligence. They lack they lack everything. They're just not capable people. And there it is. Meghan Markle, private secretary, was in Newsweek. Meghan Markle, private secretary, handed over with William's approval palace veteran Jack Royson. Well, the palace veteran, that of course is Dickie Arbiter, who was the press secretary for the Queen. Meghan Markle's private messages handed over with William's approval. William, who gave an award to Jason Knopf, services rendered, I guess. This is why we keep receipts. This is why I talk about the same stuff over and over. Hopefully someone new will tune in who never heard this before, who hasn't had this put into a nice little tidy package where you can just listen and hear what the truth is. The truth is, I know it anyway. There's a lot of people that wonder, why is this, what is this thing with the royals and Harry and Meghan? This is how you find out. An open mind and an ear. That's all it takes, because the information has been out there. but you don't read about it that often because the army of tabloid reporters, they're an extension of the PR from the royal family. Harry and Meghan don't have that. They have us and a few other people that are real journalists that whenever possible, however possible, and sometimes they don't even know the whole story. They don't know the whole story. How could you? Because the palace, both palaces, that is, Buckingham Palace, Kensington Palace, they have been at it so long that it would take a real investigative journalist who had the time and had the will to actually analyze this stuff and tell a cohesive story. It had to be someone with a name big enough that people would listen. But this video, it'll probably get 10, 11,000 views. Not a lot in comparison, but we do what we can. Lex says, anyone notice the great reset from the press? They are trying to pretend that Harry and Meghan were leaking to the press and collaborating with the press. They all the all sides argument rather than KP and the British press smear campaign. Thank you, Legs. Yeah, I heard that Malone lady do that today. I heard that Carol Malone, she was doing that today or yesterday. Yeah. And she kept cutting everybody off so that they couldn't tell their side of it. Yeah. Yeah, I noticed that. Both sides, it sounds like Donald Trump, don't it? Well, there were bad people on both sides. They're going with this idea. And Carol Malone, she said, well, if the Sussexes would stop talking, who are they talking to? Who are they talking to? The only thing that Harry and Meghan has said from their mouths was on the Oprah Winfrey Show, on the Spotify, the Archetypes, Harry's few visits where he spoke about his book, right? The book itself. Not a whole lot. And as for them leaking to the press, who can they leak to? Because the vast majority, the most widely read, according to the Daily Mail, I can't verify this, the most widely read English language publication in the world is the Daily Mail. And the Sun, all of these legacy American newspapers and television stations and such, the vast majority of the, let's say, media outlets that are capable of framing the lies that they have used against Harry and Meghan have come from the Rupert Murdochs and the Lord Nappy Heads, the racially ambiguous owner of the Daily Mail. They have a standing army, a huge amount of people that repeat the same lies over and over again. And the few times that Harry's people or Meghan's people have said, no, that's not true, it was a mutually agreed upon departure, meaning that the person that they said was fired was on a 3-month trial, and it was mutually agreed that he would depart. Now, that is considered leaking and briefing. But the truth is, the leaking and the briefing has come from Kensington Palace and from Clarence House / Buckingham Palace. We know this because one of the worst perpetrators said so himself. Dan Wooten, who got a little frustrated and got a little full of himself and said what he said. It's much easier for them to blame anything uncomfortable on racism rather than address the fact that the negativity toward them are coming from within the royal family. In other words, the calls are coming from inside the house. And so all of a sudden, as Legs has said, they have adapted a new tactic of denying, or should I say, not denying that there's leaks coming from the royal family, but to try to create this false equivalency as though Harry and Meghan have a standing army of reporters like Kensington Palace, like Buckingham Palace, that they have an army of their own that are going out and writing articles against the royal family. There's no one writing articles against the royal family. Who's doing that? It's not even enough to even put a number on it. Graham Smith has said more today than you'll hear all month, questioning how much work they do. There's very few people that say anything against that institution. And when they do, they're on television and they're being shouted down by 3 or 4 other people. You'll have one Dr. Shola and 3 other people. And this happens every day. It's amazing that as much support and positivity has been able to seep through this wall of tabloid media hate, driven by clicks. And the other part of it is just that the whole institution and those that support it seem to be in a cult. Thank you, Legs. But yeah, I noticed it. I noticed this tactic in Carol Malone. Matter of fact, I do have that available. I'll play it for you. I will play it for you so you can hear her make up this false equivalency real time. Real time. I wasn't going to share it because it kind of, but I did see that today, and she's just one. She's just one. It's part of the tactic. The false equivalency.
Is waiting to speak to us from Sheffield. Mother, welcome to the show. Do you think it's time? Good morning. Do you think it's time that the royal family sort of put this rift together? Do you see this as a bit of an olive branch, this social media post?
No, not at all.
Mm-hmm. Would you like to see them reconciliate?
If it's going to happen, but I think there's agenda to it. Harry and Meghan are fine. They're happy. They've got their children. They're living. The British media and the royal family don't like that, especially somebody like Miss Malone. That is great from her. How do you know that? And how do you know they're not? How do you know they are? You just said they are. How do you know they're not? And they weren't. You said they were.
Hang on, let Mother make her point.
That's it. Tell her to be quiet for once. The royal family. It's never mind Harry and Meghan trashing the royal family. Look what the royal family's done to Harry and Meghan. But you don't say anything. What have they done? Right. Now, my darling. What have they done? Listen to me.
Let her make her point then, Carol. You can speak.
Carol, be quiet.
All right, Mother, hang on, both of you. I'm in charge of this conversation.
I'm not going to be told to be quiet.
Okay, all right. If you just let Merva make her point, and Carol, I promise you can come back and make your point. Merva.
Thank you. Right, the royal family, especially Prince William, we've all found out it's him who's doing all the leaks. This is an agenda because they've had such bad backlash on that stupid little video thing they did last week or the week before. So they're trying to make themselves look better.
All right,
We're
Merva.
not stupid.
Thank you.
Can I
Thank
ask
you.
Merva a question?
Thank you, Merva, we've heard from you. You've made a lot of points. I think it's fair to let Carol.
Let me ask Merva a question. Where's your proof that Wills has been doing all this leaking? Where is it? What do you know?
Oh, darling, we know. We're not stupid now.
Oh, I see. Okay, so you don't know, in fact.
Stupid.
So I just asked you,
We're
what's
not
your proof?
stupid.
Where's your proof?
Carol, go back on GB News.
Where's
I
your
don't
proof?
want to be
All right, okay. I don't think we're getting anywhere there. Merva, thank you for your call. I mean, is this part of the problem with the conversations about the royal family, that very little proof exists? Because many people who actually do know what's going on actually don't speak openly. The information we have is third hand at best.
And it's all confirmation bias. People have their own.
Well, I don't know. I have no opinions either way, but is that the problem, Carol, that we don't quite know?
You say there's very little proof. Harry has done numerous interviews where he has criticised his family. He did an interview with Oprah Winfrey where he criticised his family. He wrote a book called Stare, for which he got paid £18 million, in which he criticised.
Why is that important?
That's not because you just said there's no proof. There is the proof of what Harry's done.
But he's been talking, as far as I understand, and I'll put my hand up as someone who doesn't follow this super closely. I know you do. That's why I'm asking for your opinion. But he has put forward his views that he has been badly treated by the family.
And have you ever heard William say that? Have you ever heard the King say that? Have you ever heard that they've been treated badly by him? Have you heard them speak out like Harry has spoken out? Never. They've never done it.
But they don't need to, because they have people willing to do their bidding in the press. And
What
that's
do you
why.
think Harry does? Harry's briefing all the time from America. Every conversation. So when he has a private conversation with his father, how do you think that gets out into the press?
Well, it's either him or people on his father's side.
All right,
You don't know which one.
It really is.
let's hear from Caroline in Nottingham about the fact that Merva.
You see what I mean? That's why I didn't want to share it, because then Carol Malone gets way too much. That's Carol Malone, by the way. This is the guy that's hosting the show. And then this is the one who said, well, they don't need to because they have all the people in the press that do it for them. This is why I didn't want to share it, because it gets very frustrating, because I've said this time and again, and I stand behind what I said. You don't really learn a whole lot. It doesn't really move the dial much with these talk shows, because they drown out the voice of reason. They get way too much airtime. And of course, they disrupt the argument, or disrupt the statement from that one lone voice of reason. So in this case, it's like 1.5 to 1. But Carol Malone is a woman. There's 2 men on the show. So, they can't really shut her down and look without looking like a couple of bullies. And Carol Malone, as a matter of fact, you got to hear this other one where someone really confronts her. Oh, you guys, it was rich. It was very rich. Here's another one.
I'd just like to say that the British media just are too involved in the royal family, and it's just a never-ending cycle of stories after stories after stories. We don't actually know what's factual. We don't know,
Agree with that.
Of course I disagree with that. I mean, the idea that the British media are making stuff up is farcical. It just doesn't happen. And if you think that Harry and Meghan don't want to be in the papers, why do they keep on talking to the media and to media outlets?
But isn't William and Kate's comms team doing the same?
You know what?
Constantly doing the same. This battle needs to stop.
Well, I mean, I think, Sheena, you're right in the sense that we saw that video last week, which I thought was a little bit schmaltzy and a bit off. I don't like to see that kind of manipulation of people and things. You're right about that, but we didn't choose to put that in. The media didn't make that up. They chose to put that in the media, and I don't agree with it.
From the British media is insane. And I've got to say, Carol, that also in the past, you've written horrible stories about Diana, horrible stories about William and Kate before Meghan came on the scene.
When you say
It's what
horrible,
you've done. You've written horrible articles after articles about the royal family.
because I'm a columnist, I'm employed for an opinion, and that's what I do. I give my opinion, whether you.
And you're doing the same now.
So you think it's horrible?
But you're doing it to Diana.
What was I doing to
And then
Diana?
after Diana, you wrote horrible articles about her.
Yeah.
And then after Diana, you wrote horrible stories about William and Kate.
Yeah.
And now you've stopped on William and Kate, and now you're on Harry and Meghan.
Yeah, that's just what I do. I'm
Okay.
a cruel, awful person.
Sheena, thank you. I mean, everyone's entitled to their opinions, whether we like them or not, but at least we can discuss them perhaps in a calm and respectful
I
manner.
mean, we are never in the room when these things are happening, these fights between William and Harry or, Kate and Meghan. And so the people who are feed the information, feed the story they want to get out to their comms team or to their favorite sources in the media, and then they put it out, often without challenge, for the British people to either accept or to resist. And there are lots of people here who are seeing through that, and that's why we're getting this
Are you
conversation.
comparing what the Commons team at Buckingham Palace did compared to what Meghan and Harry put out? Are you actually comparing them the same way?
It's done in different ways, and maybe different language is used. That recollections may differ.
Done in totally.
Recollections may differ, but it means the same thing.
You see how they give her so much airtime? She's allowed to, and do remember that in all likelihood, the host has an earpiece where some producer is saying, "Oh, let Carol in. Let whoever the black guy is, let him talk." All of those people on The View, all of those people on Loose Women, the Lorraine, whatever her show is, they have earpieces. They have producers that are telling people and giving them instructions and helping to guide the conversation so that they don't say too much or that they're not being too helpful to, let's say, for the sake of this conversation, Harry and Meghan. So it's like a pantomime. It's a puppet show. It's all orchestrated. Yes, sometimes you will get some good information, but most of it is shouted down or dismissed real time. It's just like allowing Trump to do a debate and lie through the entire debate, and there's no real time corrections. Nobody calls him out. And the lies that he tells are targeted to a certain sector of the electorate that he's going to need on election day. And the unfortunate reality is it works. It works. They know the demographics of the show and they can shape the message around that. Just like Trump is very aware of his demographics and he targets certain groups, he undermines other groups so that he can get the outcome that's necessary. So when he says those off the wall things and people say, "Oh, he's crazy, he's delusional." No, he knows exactly what he's doing. And he wouldn't do it if it didn't work. But the truth is, it does work. And that's what the royal family is doing. And so, as Legs very wisely said, they're using this false equivalency that, oh, well, Harry and Meghan do it too. And Carol Malone, the mouthpiece, is right there to help push the narrative. Carol Malone is only there because she's an agent, in so many words. She's an agent of that PR wing of the palace. She literally works for them. All of these so-called journalists, they write their books. And as the lady said, you've written horrible things about the royal family. You've written horrible things about Diana. You've said terrible things about Charles and Camilla. And now you're on Meghan's case. And what does she say? Well, I'm paid for my opinion. So her opinion is for sale. And if you're paying the right money, then she is going to very credibly, and she does a good job of it, she's going to very credibly help you make that case. And that's what's so sinister, excuse me, about these talk shows is because you take away more baggage than you ever drop off. You're going to leave with more baggage than you ever drop off. The public is fickle and sadly not that bright. They have really as the public as a whole, not as individuals, but the public as a whole, we have all been dumbed down so much. And the other thing is they want to frustrate you. They want you to be confounded and exhausted so that you just don't fight anymore, that you don't push back anymore. You just throw your hands up and, and you walk away. Well, I tried. That is also part of the tactic. So it's it's a lot, and they wouldn't do it if it didn't work. If it wasn't effective, they wouldn't do it. But obviously, it must be something to it because they keep doing it.
On to Prince Harry now. He turned 40 yesterday. William and Kate and King Charles celebrated the milestone birthday with social media posts. Some are calling these gestures as an olive branch. So is it time to welcome Prince Harry and Meghan back home and heal the reported family rift? Give us a call on 027 862 2222. I'll speak to you in just a moment. What do you two make of this story? Carol, let's start with you.
No.
Go on. Everything seems to be upsetting you.
I know this doesn't upset me.
Okay, good.
I think it's, I think the family had no choice but to acknowledge it was Harry's birthday. The family traditionally always has acknowledged landmark birthdays. Do I think it's a meaningful peace offering for reconciliation? No, I don't. Not for a nanosecond. Charles barely speaks to his son these days, and he barely does that because every time he does, he feels that conversation get leaked into the media in America, and then of course it comes over here. So he very rarely speaks to him. I think Charles, all the family is open to reconciliation, but I certainly don't think William is. And yes, I know he put this out today, but I think he had to. He had to look like he was singing from the same song sheet as Buckingham Palace by putting out this photograph. And I think it's quite funny that they cut Meghan out of it, but anyway, because she was on that photograph originally.
That was a mistake, I think.
I'm not sure it was a mistake, actually.
No, it was an error. They should have done that.
No, they should not have done that, but they did. But I don't think they're anywhere closer to reconciliation now than they were this time last year.
I would hope that's wrong, and I hope that this is the beginnings of a peace process and an olive branch. And the king's not getting any younger. He's not in great health. We hope he is recovering. And
Anyway, I'm going to stop that one because that's all distraction. This whole, are they offering, that's all distraction. Let me see if I have one more that's more relevant. That is pure distraction right there. I really cannot listen to that one.
Think you should get rid of all the royal.
Caroline, welcome to the show. What would you like to say?
I'd like to say you should get rid of all the royal family. I don't think it's worth them being here, to be honest.
But what will we talk about, Caroline, if they're gone?
The point.
Get rid of them.
What?
Because we don't need them.
Well, you say you don't need them. I mean, look, we've had this debate on this show, on Jeremy's show, on plenty of shows, whether we need or don't need the royal family, and that's perhaps a chat for another day. But wouldn't you like to see this rift sort of be healed, and then we can all stop talking about it?
Well, yeah, get rid of the rift and then get rid of them all.
Right, okay, bring them back together and then get rid of them. Caroline, I see where you're going with that. We're not going to dissuade you otherwise. Margaret, Caroline, welcome to the show. What would you like to say?
I'd like to say you should get rid of all the royal family. I don't think it's worth them being here, to be honest.
But what will we talk about, Caroline, if they're gone?
The point.
Okay, there you go. That was starting to repeat. So, as you can see, he took the focus from get rid of the royal family right back to healing the rift. Who gives a crap about the rift? The rift is there and it's going to stay there. They need that rift as part of their legitimacy. As long as people are talking about the rift, then you're not paying attention to the rest of the stuff.
Recovering from a cancer. And
Okay, one more.
Thank you for all your calls on that. We're going to move on to Prince Harry now. He turned 40 yesterday. William and Kate and King Charles celebrate.
Oh, no, that's not different. Okay, I think that was it. Yep, we're good. We are good. So, touche, touche. I had no idea either. Okay, do make sure you guys hit the like button. Once again, make sure you hit the like button. If you have not created a membership for Royal Sussex, memberships are still a bargain at just $4.99. That's right. Of course, there are some that are more expensive, but either way, it helps to support the channel. So make sure you get a membership. Okay, let me get rid of this guy. And let me hurry up and wrap this thing up. And so there he is. This is Jason Knopf. He submitted the bullying complaints against Meghan Markle. He also passed her private letter to her dad to the tabloids. And as William and Kate's special advisor, he has now been promoted CEO to William and Kate's charity. Now, the only thing I cannot be sure of, I don't know how they got the letter. It could have been him. It could have been Carolyn Graham, who also works for the Daily Mail. I'm not sure exactly how the letter got to Daily Mail, but it was either because of him or someone else. I don't know. But either way, he has had a hand in on a lot of treachery, and he still works for that family. And there he is, always lurking, like a ghost in my dreams, just lurking and looking and contemplating. What an awful, awful person. Awful. And you know, it has not escaped my notice that here you have a woman of African descent, a Black woman from the US in the UK, and part of the cycle of abuse against her, part of this accusation of her being the angry Black woman comes from a white man from the United States, from Texas, of all places. And also, you should know that in that Hollywood Reporter article where they said Harry and Meghan can't seem to keep staff, Jason never worked for them in the first place. Jason was pushed upon them by William and God knows who else, but he never really worked for Harry and Meghan. Harry and Meghan did not hire this man. Even Richard Eden had his suspicions about Jason. Back in 2014, failed bank RBS spin doctor Jason Knopf to be Duke and Duchess of Cambridge and Prince Harry's new communications secretary. But notice at the time, it was the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge first, and then also Prince Harry. But Prince Harry had a personal secretary, and rest assured that that personal secretary probably handled most of Harry's business. That Fox guy, whatever his name was, not this character. It was only when Meghan came along that that all of a sudden, you see, Harry and Meghan were not the ones identifying the titles of the individuals that supposedly worked for them, that comes from Kensington Palace. That wasn't them identifying that person. It's whatever the palace released to the press. Again, it's very sinister. Okay, moving on. National Portrait Gallery. Congratulations, Misan Harriman. These three portraits by Misan Harriman are going to or are now at the National Portrait Gallery in London, which is open free to the public. Prince Harry, Duke and Duchess of Sussex, Marcus Rashford, and Adwa Abua, and of course, this third image of Marcus Rashford. So, yeah, those are available for your viewing at the National Portrait Gallery. Again, congratulations, Misan Harriman. So there's Harry and Meghan, there's Marcus, and that nice lady right there. Beautiful. Next. Do you guys recognize these individuals? This is going to be fun. This is going to be the fun where we're going to end tonight. Do you recognize these actors? Anybody? Go ahead and post the name if you do. Do you recognize them? Anyone? I'll give you a minute. Very good. Very good. Tom Cruise and Leonardo DiCaprio. Okay, get ready. Next. I'm waiting. Remember, there are no prizes. Yes, Keanu Reeves. Very good. Very good. And the other? No, but he looks like him, doesn't he? He does look like him. Oh, you're going to scream when I tell you. Yes. Yes. Benedict Cumberbatch. Yeah, Benedict Cumberbatch. Yes, you got it too. Okay. No, but he does look like Ralph Carter. He really does, but no. Okay, here's a couple more. And by the way, just so you know, both of these actors are two people that in real life, the real actors, I've always felt needed a really good bath. They just always seem so greasy to me. Yes, very good. Brad Pitt and Johnny Depp. Very good. Now, I struggled with the one on the right, but I'm sure I know who that is. Let me see if you know. Yes, very good. Julia Roberts and Angelina Jolie. Very, very good. Okay. These are the creepiest ones of them all. And I do apologize because we have the because it's slowed down. I'm sure you guys are getting it fast, but it's not showing up in time. Yes, Elon Musk and oh, you're close, Beverly. You're so close. Okay, that's good enough. That's right. The Facebook dude. Yes, Zuckerberg. That's right, Zuckerberg. Elon Musk and Zuckerberg. See there? Elon Musa and Mark Zakali. Oh man, Elon Musa. Okay, here's the last thing. Only some of you will understand this. Who's going to get it? Only some of you will understand this. I'll wait. I'll give you a hint. Start counting. Anybody? Start counting. Yes, Faith Miller. Laverne and Shirley. Absolutely. You too, Church Nelly, Laverne and Shirley. We're gonna do it our way, yes, our way. Make all our dreams come true for me and you. Oh, you know what? I thought I was done, but I got one more royal to drag. Girl, give it up. Give it up, girl. If this chick wear one more unnecessarily far out, bizarre, weird outfit, leather pants, leather pants. Why do I feel like the Wessex love life has somehow very disturbingly drifted into the public view? Why do I get that feeling? Why do I get that feeling? Why? Just why? The Duchess of Edinburgh currently visited Tanzania to celebrate collaboration between the UK and Tanzania on health, agriculture, and women's empowerment. Her Royal Highness is global ambassador for the International um, A something Leather Pants Association, the International Available Bondage and Mistress. The International Kinky Swingers something association. Yeah, I see. You guys, I don't want to be hypercritical of her, but we've gone over this before. She's a little too dumpy. Do you know what dumpy means? Dumpy is she's a brick. She doesn't have an elongated shape. She's very solid. You know, if she lived on a tropical island, she would be perfect because she's heavy, muscular, and very low to the ground. Just perfect for monsoons, right? If monsoon season was to come, everything on the island would be swept away except for her because of her center of gravity and that very muscular build. She ain't going nowhere. She ain't going nowhere. So the problem is frumpy. Thank you. Frumpy. That's another good one. She's very frumpy. And she tries to rock it like she's Farrah Fawcett or Cheryl Teagues or something like that. But she's not. She's what do you call it? What was her name before? Sophie Reese something, that's who she is. She's not lean and elegant, never has been and never will be. She has a very agrarian, um, yeah. If you dropped her by parachute into a village somewhere on the Russian steppes in one of those wide open plains where they grow wheat and such, you wouldn't notice that that was a royal princess. She would look like anybody else bringing the harvest in. She's just not built that way. And I think it's a real shame that she keeps trying and trying. And Lord knows I feel for her because she does try hard, but it's just not working for her. She doesn't have the elegance and the slender figure of a duchess. She just doesn't. So somehow she wound up with these leather trousers. Look at how short they are. It looks like something that was made for a toddler, not a grown adult woman. She's too dumpy and frumpy. Yeah, it's just not working. Now, I believe they're supposed to be like culottes or, 3/4 length. How are they all the way down to her little dumpy ankles? I don't know. Yeah, it's just not working for her, but she keeps trying with her mean self. And but this thing for leather, I just don't think that that's appropriate for a royal princess. And she is a royal princess. Now, it took her 20 something years before she actually became a royal duchess, but her with this leather kink that she's got, this kinky leather thing she got going on, I think it's getting out of hand, and I find it very disturbing. And I think someone needs to confront her. Whatever she and what's her name? Whatever she and Edwina do in the privacy of their boudoir is fine, but don't come out in public with that. Like this, I still don't know what the occasion was. She's dressed up like a alien cyclops, and I don't know what the hell he's got on, but it must have been some kind of a costume. I hope it was a costume party. Whatever it was, I hope it was a costume party. And then, of course, when I really first took notice of her, it was that day that she wore that god awful blue jumpsuit. You see what I mean? Little short, dumpy arms, little short, dumpy legs. That kind of, when she turned sideways, she kind of shaped like Skipper from Gilligan's Island, right? If you turn sideways and you look like Skipper from Gilligan's Island, don't wear jumpsuits. It takes a particular type to wear a jumpsuit. She ain't that type. She ain't that type. Maybe some bib overalls, but not a jumpsuit. And she wore it to the royal, what is that race? I keep forgetting. She wore it to the Royal Ascot. Does that look like something you wear to the Royal Ascot? She is accompanied by a man wearing a top hat. And there she is sporting this jumpsuit that seemed like it was inspired from the Cracker Jacks boy. That's not right. That's a contrast. And the reason why Edward is not there is because he was too embarrassed to leave out the house with her. So she was accompanied by someone else. And then even that hat, I'm convinced that that hat is doggy doo. I believe that the Queen had a sense of humor, Queen Elizabeth, and so she had one of the footmen go out and collect a specimen and tie it in a little knot and she gave it to her. And of course, because it comes from Queen Elizabeth II, and because she was hoping to be a duchess one day, she couldn't give it back. So she had to wear it. She was forced to wear that doggy doo hat. Now you ask her, she's going to say, "Oh, it's Philip Tracy. It's Philip Tracy." No, it is doggy doo. And then this. Oh, good God. Kate's Country Cottage kitchen curtains eat your heart out. And she has the nerves to walk up front to make sure that everybody gets a good look at that frumpy dress that she has on. That looks like the pattern of a suitcase. That looks like the pattern of one of those old sofas you get from the Sears Roebucks. You know, the kind that has like the little Thanksgiving colors and everything. I mean, it's it's frightening. It's frightening. It's so jarring. Could you imagine if you just opened up your eyes first thing in the morning and that pattern was the first thing that you saw? It could drive someone to madness. Madness, I tell you. I mean, look at her daughter. I like what she's wearing, but mom, no way. Mm-mm. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. It's so disturbing on so many levels. It says, "Oi, I wish they wouldn't make me be that person." But seriously, striking dress. She's got a good figure and access to a lot of fashion lines. Why do their staff sabotage them so much? So I believe that the tabloid, whichever newspaper, they said that she was wearing a striking dress. Well, it looks like a bird strike. It looks like a bird strike. If you were riding on a plane and a bird struck it at takeoff, that's what that dress is. It's not striking, it's a bird strike. And then here on the right side, I just don't think she's old enough to wear her bosoms tucked into her waistband. You know, she's not at the age where you're supposed to tuck your bosoms into your belt. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming forth to carry me home. Swing low. Or, and I tell you, she ain't exactly Aretha Franklin, but she's getting there. Love lift us up where we belong. Something lifted up. You know, but I have a theory about this. I told you guys a long time ago. I think that she was on the 19th hour because Playtex promises 18-hour protection, right? Well, by the time she got to hour number 19, it just gave up. It just gave up. And so at that point, she decided, oh, well, I guess I'll just tuck it into my belt and keep it moving. Now, is she the most glamorous royal? How a computer database of all her clothes and 1,000 bikes and a man called Quickie who does her who does up her zips transformed the once frumpy, you see, even that says frumpy, the once frumpy Sophie Wessex. And then over here it says from frumpy to fabulous. How Sophie Wessex caved in to royal style demands, ditched her boring trouser suits, and became one of Vanity Fair's best dressed. What year was that? 2015? Ooh, that must have been a really dry year. Anyway, Jan Moore. Wiggle that says, I'm a style queen too. Kate, I'm a style queen too, Kate. Jan Moore salutes Sophie Wessex, who's found her fashion mojo. Okay, well, it's better. It's better, but not great. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. The bad old days? You mean to tell me she tried to wear one of those capes like Megan? Ugh. Look at the way it's cutting her across the middle. Ugh. Ugh. My eyes. My eyes. Oh, that's really bad. Even in these shrunken, grainy photos, you can see how bad it is, can't you? Well, see, I I'm going to share this with you again. Don't ask me how I obtained the X-rays, but the slender, elegant Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, that is the type of posture, that is the type of slim, slender, elongated, elegant frame necessary to be a royal princess and a royal duchess. But Sophie, with that, I don't know, kind of dumpster diving, truck stop waitress working, um, domestic help living type of frame, it just does not belong in a royal household. That doesn't even belong at a casino. She shouldn't even work at a casino. I wouldn't want to see someone with that frame working at Cracker Barrel. But yet, somehow, she has managed to find herself in a place in the House of Windsor. Boy, I tell you, their standards have truly dropped. But I am going to end on a positive note, and you won't believe it. There is hope for Sophie. There is hope. Um, One of the best looks ever was when she decided to mimic Megan. Now, that's a good look for her. That is such a good look for her. And I said it at the time, that is the best that I've ever seen her look. Yeah, she looks beautiful. That's the best that I've ever seen her look. So she doesn't have to look ridiculous, but she chooses to look ridiculous. And that's really bad. So I guess she doesn't trust other people. And she usually reverts to kind or reverts to type, but she doesn't have to look that bad. She chooses to. That's a choice. Yeah. But I think she looks very chic and elegant. It's not over the top. You know, sometimes she's just too much. She be doing too much. But that is a perfect look for her. Yeah. So, and I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much to the moderators for helping to maintain this safe space that we have. And also, thank you to everyone who has a membership to Royal Sussex or support the channel in other ways. Even if you can only like or share and subscribe, it goes a long way to the overall success of Royal Sussex. Okay, so thank you very much. I will see you next time. Love you guys. Have a good night.